For years, the world saw Eminem as the fearless rap god, the man who could go toe-to-toe with anyone, lyrically destroy his enemies, and turn his pain into platinum. But behind that hardened exterior, there was another side to Marshall Mathers that very few ever saw. The terrified father trying to protect his daughter, hailiejade, from the very fame that made him a legend. It all started when fans began noticing something strange. Eminem, who once proudly mentioned Hailie in nearly every song, suddenly stopped. No more shoutouts, no family posts, no interviews, just silence. And when a mysterious incident involving a stalker outside Hailie's Michigan home hit the underground blogs, whispers started circulating that M was hiding a deep, dark secret about what fame had really cost his family. Close sources claim that Eminem became obsessed with keeping Hailie out of the public eye, even cutting off old friends and business partners he thought were too curious. Some say he hired private investigators. Others believe he even moved Hailie under a new identity for a time. But what really happened? And what pushed one of hip-hop's greatest minds to the edge of paranoia? This is the story Eminem never wanted the world to know. In the early 2000s, Eminem ruled hip-hop. Every headline, every chart, every controversy, his name was there. From The Real Slim Shady to Mockingbird, Marshall Mathers had turned his pain, his trauma, and his family life into art. Fans knew his daughter Hailie like she was part of the rap story itself. She wasn't just mentioned, she was immortalized, but then everything changed. Somewhere around 2014, fans noticed a shift. No more shoutouts. No more lyrics about baby girl Hailie. No more public appearances. It was as if Hailie vanished from Eminem's world overnight, and the silence was deafening. At first, people thought it was just privacy. You know, a father keeping his grown daughter away from the spotlight. But insiders close to M started whispering, saying something had happened. Something serious. A former bodyguard who spoke anonymously claimed M became paranoid. He didn't want Hailie to be seen, photographed, or even mentioned. He said, "They're watching her. They want to use her to get to me." Fans were confused. Who was watching her? Why would anyone target Hailie? Then, an unsettling story hit Reddit. A thread from a user claiming to live in Detroit said he saw a group of men parked near Hailie's campus apartment, back when she attended Michigan State University. The comment blew up overnight. Some users dismissed it, but others started connecting dots, linking it to old reports of obsessive Eminem fans who crossed the line. One of those fans? A man named Ryan Keller, who had allegedly been caught sneaking into Eminem's gated neighborhood years earlier, claiming he just wanted to see Hailie. The police records vanished from the web soon after, but screenshots still float around hip-hop forums to this day. And that's when the theory started spreading. Eminem wasn't just protecting his daughter's privacy, he was fighting a silent battle to keep her safe. Voiceover pause, tone deepens. Around this time, Eminem's demeanor shifted completely. Even during interviews, you could sense the tension. His voice, once sarcastic and full of punchlines, sounded cautious, guarded. When one interviewer asked about Hailie's graduation, M's reaction caught everyone off guard. He looked down, gave a tight smile, and said, "She's good. That's all I can say. No laughter. No jokes. Just a father trying to hold it together." Behind the scenes, sources claim M started tightening his circle. Longtime associates were suddenly cut off. Even some shady record staff said he installed advanced security at his Michigan mansion. Cameras, motion sensors, even drones. One insider allegedly told Rap Radar, "You couldn't even mention Hailie's name in the studio without him changing the subject. It was like he didn't trust anyone anymore." But what exactly triggered that paranoia? That's where the story takes a dark turn. Shift tone, suspense builds. According to leaked emails from an ex-employee, emails that were never verified but widely discussed online, a certain tabloid journalist had been investigating Hailie's personal life. The journalist supposedly offered money to classmates for photos or private info. Some even claim that one student took the deal. And that's when Eminem snapped. The story goes that Marshall confronted the student through intermediaries, warning them to never use my daughter's name again. The student allegedly dropped out a month later. Was it intimidation? Or was M just being a protective father? Nobody knows. But it's said that from that moment, Eminem's obsession with security reached new levels. He reportedly changed Hailie's phone number every few months, hired off-duty cops to guard her when she visited family, and even forced his team to sign new NDAs, specifically naming her. As one old friend put it, Eminem wasn't scared for himself anymore. He was scared for Hailie. And when you've lost people the way he has, that fear never leaves. Cut to narration tone, reflective. Think about it. Eminem had already seen the dark side of fame: stalkers, lawsuits, betrayal, addiction, near-death experiences. But when that world started brushing up against his daughter's reality, the game changed completely. There's even a rumor, though never confirmed, that M secretly moved Hailie for a while under a different name, keeping her location private for nearly 2 years. Some fans believe this is why there's a gap in her social media timeline, that eerie silence between 2015 and 2017 when she posted almost nothing. During that time, M reportedly fell into a creative drought. No new albums, no interviews, nothing but quiet studio sessions. People thought he was just regrouping. But what if he was dealing with something much darker behind closed doors? One producer described it best. M would come to the studio, lay down these emotional verses about fear, loss, and control. He wasn't talking about fame, and he was talking about protecting someone. We all knew who. The tension built until 2017, when Eminem finally dropped Revival, and fans noticed something in the lyrics. In the song Castle, he raps directly to Hailie, apologizing for exposing her to fame and wishing he'd done things differently. Then in A Rose, he describes dying in a hospital bed, saying goodbye to his daughter one last time. Fans thought it was artistic, but to those close to him, it was personal. They say M had been dealing with real panic attacks, fearing that the public spotlight could one day destroy Hailie's peace. One of his engineers reportedly said, "Every line about her wasn't a song. It was therapy. The man was trying to exorcise demons through the mic." And that's when the world realized maybe Eminem wasn't the fearless rap god we thought he was. Maybe he was just a dad, terrified of losing the only thing that ever made him feel human. Pause. Tone softens but keeps suspense. But this was only the beginning. Because what happened next, in late 2018, would change everything. According to multiple Detroit insiders, an anonymous figure began leaking unseen photos of Hailie to small gossip pages, private moments, university parties, family gatherings. Nothing explicit, but invasive. Fans were quick to screenshot before the posts were taken down. And when Eminem found out, people close to him say he lost it. One source described him as furious, pacing around the studio, saying someone from the inside was betraying him. That betrayal, it would ignite one of the most secret, emotional battles Eminem had ever faced, one that blurred the line between fatherhood and obsession. When the leaked photos of Hailie started circulating online, Eminem didn't just see it as a privacy violation, he saw it as war. For years, he'd built a fortress of silence around his daughter. Nobody in his circle was allowed to even mention her name outside closed doors. So when those photos surfaced, private, personal moments only a handful of people could have had access to, Eminem realized something terrifying. The enemy wasn't outside. It was inside his own camp. People who worked at Shady Records say M's energy shifted overnight. Studio sessions were canceled. Phones were confiscated at meetings. Even longtime collaborators were told to sign fresh non-disclosure agreements, the kind that threatened six-figure lawsuits for a single leak. According to one insider, M.E. walked into the office one morning with that same cold stare he had back in the 8 Mile days. He didn't say hi to anyone, just slammed a folder on the table and said, "Somebody in here's feeding my daughter's life to the internet." The room went silent, cut to dramatic narration tone. The investigation started quietly. M didn't call the cops. He didn't post about it online. Instead, he reportedly hired a private security consultant, a former FBI cyber agent, to track the leaks. Over the next few weeks, they traced digital footprints, timestamps, and IP addresses. The trail led back to an unexpected place, someone tied to his own production team. Now, this part of the story was never confirmed by M himself, but fans on Reddit, and even a few Detroit blogs, claimed it pointed toward a junior engineer who had been working in the studio for less than a year. The engineer allegedly sold unseen family pictures to a small gossip outlet for a few $1,000s. But when M found out, man, fans say he went off. One of his oldest friends allegedly said, M told his team, "We're not calling lawyers. We're handling this the Detroit way." The rumor goes that M confronted the engineer face-to-face at the studio, Witnesses claimed it was one of the most tense moments they'd ever seen. Eminem didn't yell. He didn't have to. He just stared at the guy and said quietly, "You think this is a game? You put my daughter's life at risk for some clicks? You don't know what comes with this fame." The guy reportedly broke down right there, crying, begging for forgiveness, but it was too late. After that day, he was gone, fired, wiped from the company records. Shady Records never spoke his name again. And yet, something about the situation still haunted Eminem. Because even after cutting that person off, leaks kept happening. Little things at first, anonymous tips about where Hailie was spotted, comments online describing her new house, even strangers showing up near her yoga studio in Detroit. It became clear this wasn't just a betrayal, it was an obsession. M reportedly told his team, "It's like they want to turn her into a celebrity against her will." Fans started noticing his lyrics growing darker again. When music to you, be murdered by dropped in 2020, people dissected lines that seemed to reference this exact period. Verses about snakes in the studio and a world that feeds off pain for clicks. One fan tweeted, "Bro, M isn't just talking about rap beef. He's talking about his real life, about protecting Hailie from the monsters that fame created." Sources close to M say he became distant, even from old friends like 50 Cent and Royce da 5'9". He reportedly stopped attending industry events, ignoring calls unless it was about business. Royce once hinted at this in an interview, saying, "M's been through a lot more than people know. Sometimes protecting peace means cutting out everybody." And he wasn't lying. Eminem's life became a routine of solitude. Home, studio, gym, repeat. The only person he regularly saw was Hailie. But here's where things take a wild twist. Around late 2020, a mysterious Instagram account popped up with the handle @Hailie Unfiltered. The account posted unseen childhood photos of Hailie, personal moments that clearly weren't meant for the public. Fans freaked out, and within 24 hours, the account vanished. But here's the creepy part. Screenshots show that one of white. The photos had a date stamp from inside Eminem's private recording booth. That meant someone close, real close, had access to his space. At that point, M was reportedly convinced he was being watched. He upgraded his security again, adding biometric locks and encrypted drives for every file. Some even say he moved out of his main house temporarily until he could confirm the leak was over. According to a source, M said straight up, "This fame is poison. I'd trade it all if it means she's safe." For someone who built his career on being untouchable, those words hit hard. Cut to narration, reflective but dramatic. Fans always saw Eminem as a man in control, of words, of fame, of his destiny, but behind the scenes, he was losing control of the one thing that mattered most, his daughter's peace. Even Hailie herself started to feel the pressure. Around 2021, during her early podcast episodes, she subtly addressed her relationship with fame. Without naming names, she said, "Sometimes, it's weird having people know so much about you when you didn't ask for it." It was a small sentence, but fans who knew the backstory caught the meaning immediately. She wasn't just talking about growing up famous. She was talking about the trauma of being watched, judged, and used for headlines. And that's when Eminem reportedly decided enough was enough. According to whispers from Detroit's inner circle, he made a secret move, pulling strings behind the scenes to have certain websites take down content related to Hailie. Some claim he used legal threats. Others say he simply paid them off. Either way, it worked. Within weeks, dozens of shady gossip articles vanished from the internet. Forums that mentioned her name were wiped. The mysterious Instagram accounts disappeared. It was like Eminem had gone digital ninja, scrubbing his daughter's presence from every dark corner of the web. Music fades low, tension lingers, but even after all that, the damage was done. The trust issues, the paranoia, the sleepless nights. They all stayed. And those close to him say that by 2022, Eminem had become almost completely reclusive, doing fewer public appearances, avoiding interviews, and focusing only on producing. It wasn't about money anymore. It wasn't about fame. It was about control. Because to M, control was safety, and safety was love. As one insider put it, Eminem wasn't trying to be the biggest rapper alive anymore. He was trying to be the best dad alive. But just when it looked like things were finally quieting down, a new headline appeared that would reopen every wound. A shocking new story about Hailie went viral on social media. And this time, it didn't come from strangers. It came from someone in the family. After years of locking down every detail of his daughter's life, Eminem finally believed the storm had passed. The leaks were gone. Hailie was focused on her podcast, her brand, her own quiet lane outside the chaos of the industry. But in early 2023, just when things seemed calm, another wave of headlines hit the internet. A gossip page posted a teaser for an upcoming tell-all interview with a member of Eminem's family. The caption read, "They're ready to speak the truth about what it's really like being related to the rap god." Within minutes, the internet exploded. Fans started guessing who it could be. His half-brother Nate? Maybe his estranged mom Debbie? But when the trailer dropped, everyone's jaw hit the floor. It was his own niece, Elena Scott, the daughter he adopted years ago, whom fans had long considered part of Eminem's closest inner circle. But now, it's time to tell our truth. The internet went into meltdown mode. Fans were divided. Some thought she was doing it for closure. Others said it was betrayal. And for Eminem, the man who built his whole world on protecting his family, it was like a knife to the chest. An alleged insider told the Detroit Report, when Em saw the trailer, he didn't even finish it. He just said, "She's family. Why would she do this?" and walked out the room. Behind the scenes, things got ugly. Eminem reportedly tried to reach out privately. No lawyers, no PR, just family. But word is, Elena didn't respond. Instead, the production went full steam ahead. The special, titled Growing Up Mathers, aired online weeks later. And though it wasn't scandalous by Hollywood standards, it hit Eminem hard. Because in it, Elena spoke about feeling isolated by fame and said that sometimes love turns into control when fear takes over. She didn't name him directly, but everyone knew who she meant. Clips went viral instantly. Fans flooded comment sections. Eminem kept her safe all these years, and this is how she repays him? Others defended her, saying, she has a right to speak her truth. Either way, it reopened every wound Eminem had tried to bury. According to people close to the rapper, he was devastated. One insider said Em felt betrayed. He said, "After everything I did to keep them out of this madness, they dragged it right back in." Reports say he shut himself off for weeks. No calls, no studio, no meetings. Just silence. Friends like Royce da 5'9" tried reaching out. 50 Cent allegedly flew out to Detroit to talk to him. But Em wasn't having it. He reportedly told 50, "I ain't mad. I'm just tired. Every time I open my heart, it becomes a headline." Cut to commentary tone, like a YouTube narrator analyzing events. Fans online started connecting dots again. They noticed that around the same time, Hailie unfollowed Elena on Instagram. No public statement, no drama, just a quiet digital goodbye. That move said everything. The Mathers family was officially divided. And that division? It didn't go unnoticed. Gossip pages began speculating that Eminem's paranoia had returned full force. One post claimed he had cut off several relatives and installed security around his property again. Another said he'd begun revisiting old habits, writing dark, emotional lyrics late into the night. And when Hailie dropped a subtle Instagram caption that read, "Peace is expensive when the world profits off your name," fans lost it. Thousands of comments flooded in. Everyone knew she was talking about the betrayal. Shift tone, narrative focus, emotional imagery. Imagine the weight of that moment. A father who fought the world to keep his daughter safe, now watching his own family members trade that privacy for clicks. Sources claim that around this time, Eminem called a private family meeting. No cameras, no lawyers, just blood. It was said to be tense, emotional, and full of tears. One source described it as the first time in years Em actually raised his voice at family. He told them, "This is exactly why I went silent. This is why I don't trust the world. Because even my people see me as content. After that meeting, things were never the same. Music slows, narration softens. The emotional toll on Eminem was deep. He reportedly began journaling again, something he hadn't done since his rehab days. Old friends said he filled entire notebooks with letters to Hailie and notes to himself about letting go of fame. One of those pages allegedly read, "I gave the world my pain, and they asked for more." For a while, fans thought we'd seen the last of him, but true to his nature, Eminem doesn't stay silent for long. By mid-2024, rumors started circulating that he was working on a new project. Not just another album, but something more personal. Producers said the new material was darker, stripped down, and painfully honest. Some insiders claimed the album's Concept was centered around fatherhood and forgiveness, and here's where it gets wild. Whispers from inside. Shady Records said the final track of that project wasn't a rap song at all. It was a voice memo. A real conversation between Eminem and Hailie recorded in his home studio. Allegedly, it's one of the most emotional moments he's ever shared on tape. In it, M reportedly apologizes to his daughter for letting fame touch her life. And Hailie tells him, "You don't have to protect me anymore, Dad. You did your job." Fans who claim to have heard snippets describe it as chilling, saying M's voice cracks near the end. But the track never leaked officially. Some say he pulled it from the final cut, too personal to release. Whether that song exists or not, it became part of hip-hop folklore. The legend of the overprotective father who'd sacrificed everything, trust, friendship, peace, to keep his daughter untouched by the industry. Reflective pause, tone heartfelt but tense. By late 2024, Eminem slowly started to reappear. Hailie's podcast mentioned family healing, and she spoke about learning to forgive. She didn't name her dad directly, but her smile said enough. Still, fans can't help but wonder, did Eminem ever forgive the ones who betrayed him? Or did he just build the walls higher? Because one thing's for sure, every time he steps into that booth, you can still hear it. The pain, the protection, the paranoia, it's not just rap anymore, it's therapy. And even now in 2025, fans still say it. Eminem's greatest battle was never against another rapper. It was against fame itself. Music builds toward cliffhanger. But the story doesn't end there, because what happened next, just when everyone thought the Mathers family had finally found peace, would throw them right back into the headlines again. This time not because of leaks or betrayal, but because of something even more dangerous, a stalker who claimed to know the truth about Hailie's secret life. For a long time, fans thought the Mathers family had finally found peace. Hailie was thriving, running her podcast, building her own brand, staying quiet but confident. Eminem was mostly off the grid, spotted only at a few games or studio sessions. The chaos that once followed them seemed to have finally faded. But early in 2025, whispers started spreading online about something strange happening near Eminem's Detroit home. Local blogs mentioned flashing lights, private security on alert, and an unexpected lockdown around the property. No one knew what was going on, but it had everyone talking. Some said it was paparazzi gone too far. Others said it was just trolls trying to mess with him. But according to a few people close to the situation, it wasn't about danger. It was about a reminder. Someone had delivered an unmarked envelope to the house. Inside was a small flash drive. No threats, no words, just a digital file titled, "You Can't Hide the Truth Forever." When the drive was opened, it didn't contain anything violent or illegal. It was a collage, random footage of old interviews, blurry photos from concerts, screenshots from fan pages showing Hailie through the years. Whoever sent it wasn't trying to harm anyone. They were sending a message. The internet never forgets. For Eminem, that message hit hard. He'd spent years trying to build walls around his daughter's life, to keep her name clean from the noise of celebrity. Now, that old paranoia came flooding back. But this time, instead of reacting with anger or retreating into silence, he did something different. He called Hailie to the house. The two of them sat in his studio for hours, just talking, really talking, for the first time in a long while. Hailie told him, "Dad, you can't protect me from everything. The world's different now. They only control the story if we let them." It was the kind of sentence that hits you straight in the chest. For years, he'd been fighting shadows, the media, old feuds, his own guilt. But now, his daughter, the person he'd been trying to shield, was teaching him how to finally breathe again. Not long after that conversation, Eminem started working on something personal. Not a song for the charts. Not a diss track. Something deeper. A spoken word track that no one was supposed to hear. The track built around the same phrase from the flash drive, "You can't hide the truth forever." But instead of treating it like a threat, he flipped it. He turned it into a statement of acceptance. The truth he'd been hiding wasn't about fame or controversy. It was about fear. The fear of losing his daughter to the same world that once almost destroyed him. Those who heard it said it sounded like a letter. No hooks, no drums, just words. In one of the final verses, he said something raw enough to shake even his closest friends. "I built walls so high I couldn't see her grow. I called it protection, but it was just control." When those lines leaked online, fans couldn't believe it. The internet exploded with reactions. Some said it was Eminem's most emotional work ever. Others argued he'd never release it because it was too personal. But either way, everyone agreed. This wasn't Slim Shady talking. This was Marshall Mathers, the father, finally speaking from the heart. Weeks later, people started noticing changes. For the first time in years, Eminem was seen walking downtown Detroit with Hailie. No security detail, no disguise, just the two of them. The pictures spread everywhere. And this time, he didn't seem to care. A friend close to him said that moment meant everything. He finally stopped running. He realized protecting her doesn't mean hiding her. It means standing beside her. It means standing beside her. From that day, everything shifted. Hailie began showing more of her real life on social media. Not oversharing, but letting people see who she truly was. She even posted a Father's Day message that broke the internet. It was just a simple photo with the caption, "You did your best and that's enough for me." Thousands of fans filled the comments. Some said it was the most beautiful thing they'd ever seen. Others wrote, "This is the closure we never thought we'd get." Even 50 Cent reposted it, writing, "My bro finally at peace. Family over everything." That moment marked the end of an era. Eminem didn't just protect Hailie from the world, he learned how to let her live in it. The man who once turned pain into lyrics and anger into armor had finally learned what peace actually looked like. Now, he stays quiet. He produces behind the scenes, works with new artists, and rarely shows his face in public. But those who know him say he's different, calmer, softer, maybe even happy. As one person from Shady Records put it, "He doesn't need to fight anymore. He's already won. Not with fame, not with music, but with family." And maybe that's the real story behind all the rumors, not about drama or darkness, but about a man who faced his own fears and finally stopped letting the past control him. Eminem didn't just find peace. He built it, not on stage, not on charts, but at home, with the one person he was fighting for all along. Because at the end of it all, fame fades, awards collect dust, and even legends grow old. But family is forever. And that's how the story of Eminem's secret struggle to protect Hailie from fame finally comes full circle. It wasn't just about music or privacy, it was about redemption. A man who built an empire on pain finally learning how to heal from it. For years, fans saw Eminem as untouchable, the lyrical genius, the fighter, the legend. But behind every punchline and every verse, there was a father trying to do the right thing in a world that never stops watching. It's crazy when you think about it. How fame gave him everything, and yet almost took away the one thing that truly mattered: his peace of mind and his daughter's innocence. But in the end, he proved that even the loudest voices can learn to be still, and that protecting someone doesn't always mean hiding them. Sometimes it means standing proudly beside them, no matter who's watching. Fans are still waiting to see if he'll ever release that emotional, "You Can't Hide the Truth Forever" track. And if he does, it might just be the most honest thing he's ever done. But now I want to hear from you. Do you think Eminem made the right choice by keeping Hailie out of the spotlight for so long? Or should he have let her live her life freely from the start? Drop your thoughts down below. We'll be reading every single one. And if you loved this story, hit that like button, subscribe for more real rap stories and hidden hip-hop truths, and turn on those notifications, because we've got more coming that'll leave you speechless. Until next time, stay tuned, stay real. And remember, even legends have battles they never rap about.